My name is Felicia Furman. I'm 70 years old and I've lived in Boulder, Colorado for almost 30 years, although I grew up in South Carolina. And my family is steeped in slavery on both sides. On my mother's side, the last slave owner was William Gilmore Simms. He was a prominent literary figure in the 19th century. And we still own the plantation property, although my grandmother always referred to it as the remnants of what Sherman left behind. So it's not a big grand plantation, but I and 15 or 20 other cousins all own this property together since 1821. The last slave owner on my father's side was named James C. Furman. He established a university, a college, in 1857 in Greenville, South Carolina, called Furman University. And his ancestors had all been ministers, educators, and slave owners. So figure that out. I've known that I've had slavery in my family forever. It was never spoken that much about, but I was indoctrinated with the belief that Black people were inferior to whites. And I have felt a lot of shame about my family's slave owning legacy in my later years, but along the way, I began to feel a responsibility to own that family heritage, that it wasn't enough just to know about it, but something had to be done. In 1993, I began a family history project I call Shared History to find out why on my mother's side of the family, we had maintained a relationship with the descendants of the enslaved people at Woodlands Plantation after the Civil War through the present. Several of the families after the war stayed on the place. Many had no place to go. There was a famine. Times were hard for all. And they worked for my ancestors in trade for food and supplies. And that became jobs of sharecropping and other types of farming jobs as the decades passed. This family history project that I started actually became a PBS film about our relationship. And these relationships became more like friendships and have endured to the present. In 2000, I received a $100,000 inheritance from my grandfather on my Furman side. I thought Europe, I thought a fancy car, I thought graduate school. But deep inside me, I knew what I had to do. After making this film and knowing much more about enslavement in general and in my family, I began to talk to the families of Woodlands Plantation and my own family about making a reparation. I have to admit, we didn't call it reparations right at first because my family still felt that was a very highly charged word. And so we called it a scholarship fund. My parents generously matched the $100,000 and more, and we created the Woodlands Family Scholarship Fund, which was run by a nearby community fund. And it's been going on since 2000, and now it's 2023, so 23 years. I can't remember exactly how many scholarships have been given, but the principal has grown, the scholarships have grown in number and amount. So it's not all, only the fact of the scholarships, the money in the scholarships that pay the reparations, but it's the act of acknowledging that my family recognizes that we participated in a cruel and unjust system that denied Black people equal rights, the equal rights of all human beings. So sometimes it's not just the money, but it's also the recognition of the harm that's been done. Currently, I work with African-American families who are researching their roots that might be tied to my Furman family. And Furman University has just recently created a program to an aggressive program, they say, to tell the truth about the roots of its connection to slavery and through my family. And in their words, make physical and departmental changes to move from ignorance or indifference and to put truth, understanding, and repair as our prominent values. Thank you.